the last topic of Unit 2, which is about DC electricity. So first, how we define electric current. Current is basically a flow of the charges, like how many charges are moving in 1 second through a circuit. We call that as electric current. The SI unit of the current is ampere, and it can be calculated by using a formula, charge divided by time. And the direction of the current, the conventional current, is from positive to negative. As you can see here, from the positive terminal, the charges start to move and move around the circuit. Whereas electron flow is opposite to the conventional current, is from negative to positive. So if we want to represent the electron flow, so we will represent the movement from negative to positive. Whereas if you want to show the electric current, conventional current, or the direction of the current, it is from positive to negative. Then as we say, current is the flow of the charge, so we can calculate the current by using a formula, how many charges moving through a circuit or through a cross-sectional area in 1 second. If you want to measure the current, we can use an ammeter. Ammeter is an instrument which is used to measure the current. The symbol is A. So example, if you have a 60 coulomb charge flow through a circuit in 10 seconds, so current will be 60 divided by 10, it's equal to 6 ampere. And if you have a 150 milliampere current which move through a circuit in 3 minutes, so we have to convert the time into seconds, and we have to convert the milliamperes into amperes, and then to get the charge, it is current multiplied by time, so it will give us 27 coulombs. Then there are two types of the current. Current can be an AC, an alternating current, or it can be a DC. What is a DC or a direct current? When the charges actually move from one place to another and they transfer the electrical energy, we call that as DC. Whereas charges just vibrate and they transfer the electrical energy, we call that as so charges just vibrate and transfer the electrical energy, so we call that as AC. So DC is actual movement of the particle from one place to another, where alternating current is actually the vibration of the particle and transferring the electrical energy. Then current in the circuit, a circuit can be a series circuit or circuit can be a parallel circuit. So if we have a series circuit means that there's only one way for the charges to flow. And parallel circuit means that multiple ways are there for the charges to flow. So if we have one way for the charges to flow, the charges can only follow one path as they move around the circuit, and if one of the connection breaks, the whole circuit will stop working. We call that as series combination. But if the charges have multiple ways to flow through the component, and if one of the connection breaks, the circuit still work, as alternative route is there for the charges to move or flow, so we call that as parallel circuit. So in series circuit, the total current is same through each component. Where in parallel circuit, the current divide between the component and division might be equal or unequal depending on the resistance of the two components. So if 2 ampere of the charges are coming out from the battery, same 2 ampere will flow through lamp 1, 2 ampere through lamp 2, 2 ampere passes out and 2 ampere will return. But if it is a parallel circuit, if 2 ampere is there and these are identical lamps, so 1 ampere will flow through lamp 1 and 1 ampere will flow through lamp 2. And then the current will return back to the circuit. So the total current enter the circuit will always be equal to total current leave the circuit. So if you want to measure the current, we use an ammeter, and ammeters are always connected in series. So there's a equation which we use and we call that as a transport equation. What is the transport equation? Transport equation shows the relation between how many charges are moving through the wire every second. That's called transport equation. So example, we have a wire and number of the charge carriers in a unit volume, like how many charges are there in a specific volume, in a fixed volume, that is denoted by letter N. N means number of charges in a unit volume. So number of the charges in a unit volume, that is denoted by N. The length through which these charges are moving, we call that as L. This cross-sectional area of the wire, that we call that as A. The charge of one electron, because basically electrons are the charges which are moving from one place to another. So charge of electron is, one electron charge is denoted by Q, which is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. Now, what is the total charge which flow from one place to another? The total charge is equals to number of charges in a unit volume multiplied by charge of one electron. That will be equal to total charge. Because Q, the capital Q is a total charge, which is equals to how many charges are there in a unit volume multiplied by total number of the charges which are moving. So this will give us the total charge of one electron multiplied by number of charges in a unit volume. This will give the total charge. Now this charge is flowing through a volume. So total charge which will flow through this, we want to represent by a Q. So N is the number of the charges which are flowing through unit volume. But for total number of charges through this conductor, so total number of the charges which flow through the conductor, that is denoted by Q, equal NQAL, because A and L is the volume. So we'll get the total volume by area multiplied by length. So after getting a total volume multiplied by number of the charge per unit volume, we'll get the total charge which is flowing. So Q is equals to NQAL. And if we want to find the current I is equals to charge divided by time, Q divided by T. So current is denoted by letter I, charge is denoted by Q, and time is denoted by T. So we can say I is equals to Q. What is Q? Q is equals to N Q A L and divided by time T. So length divided by time, when length of the wire divided by time the charges will take to flow, that length divided by time will give us the speed or the velocity. So we can say I equals the charge which is flowing through a wire is equals to NQAV or NAQV. This equation is called a transport equation. Transport equation means it shows how many charges are moving through a wire in a fixed, total wire, the full wire every second. That is known as the transport equation. So where N is the number of the charges which are moving in number of charges present in a unit volume, Q is a charge of one electron, A is the cross-sectional area of the wire, and V is the speed at which the charges are moving. So this is a very important equation that you have to learn, that I is equals to NQAV or NAQV. You can write anyway, where N is the number of the charges present in a unit volume, and it changes with material. If it's a material is a conductor, it will have higher value of N. If material is insulator, then it will have like zero or no charge carrier will be there. And if it's a semiconductor, then it will have few charge carriers in a unit volume. So NAQV or NAVQ is known as the transport equation. And this is important that you should learn this transport equation. And using the transport equation, we can work out whether a material is a conductor or insulator. Is it clear? The transport equation. Then what is electromotive force or EMF? EMF means how much work done on a unit charge to move the charge around the circuit, or how much chemical energy changes to electrical energy when 1 coulomb of a charge moves through a circuit. We call that as EMF or electromotive force. So inside the cell there is a chemical energy, and that chemical energy changes to electrical energy, and that electrical energy is responsible for the driving the charge through the circuit. So how much energy carried by 1 coulomb of a charge, or how much work is done on 1 coulomb of a charge, we call that as EMF or electromotive force. Whereas the potential difference is refers to the potential difference is how much energy transferred by the charge. As you can see here in this figure, say we have a 6-volt battery. So 6-volt battery means 6 joules of energy carried by one charge. So when this one charge is moving through a circuit, so when this one charge or 6 joules of energy carried by this, so before the charge enter, it is carrying 6 joules. When it passes, it transfers some of its energy, so it will have 3 joule. So how much energy being transferred? The energy transfer will be equal to 3 volts. And remaining energy, the charge when it passes through, it will transfer that remaining energy, so that is also 3 volts. So how much energy transferred by the charge when it is passing through a component, we call that as PD, potential difference. And how much energy carried by the charge when it is entering the circuit, we call that as electromotive force or EMF. So here EMF is equals to 6 volt, potential difference PD 3V, and here also potential difference 3V. So the total EMF of the circuit is equals to the total potential difference, the energy transferred by the charge across a circuit. And if you want to measure the voltage, either EMF or potential difference, we can use a voltmeter. And voltmeters are always connected in parallel. Why in parallel? Because in parallel the voltage is same. So if we have a 6-volt supply, the charges each carry 6 joules of energy. Some it transfer across one component, and remaining it transfer across the other one. So the voltage, the energy divided between the components. So in series circuits, the potential difference divided. But in parallel, the potential difference is same as the EMF of the supply. So if each charge carries 6 joules of energy, if one charge flow through the first part, the second charge will flow through the second part. So the energy, the amount of energy which they transfer, that will be same. That's why when the components are connected in parallel, they will have the same voltage. Where they're connected in series, the voltage will be divided. So the definition of potential difference is how much energy is transferred by the charge when it moves through a circuit, and how much energy is transferred to the charge when to move it around the circuit. We call that as EMF or electromotive force. So if I write like this is 3V, So what is the EMF of the supply? That is 3. But how much energy when the charges move, like 3V means each charge carry 3 joule. Before entering it is 3, and once it passes through, it transfer all of its energy. So how much energy transfer? That is known as the potential difference or difference in the voltage. And to calculate the electromotive force or a potential difference, it is work done on unit charge or work done by unit charge. So a potential of 4.5 volt is measured across a toy electrical motor. The current passes through is 1 ampere. How much work is done if it is left to operate for 3 minutes? So first we'll find for 3 minutes how much charge will flow. So current is charge divided by time. So charge is current into time. When we multiply these two, we'll get about 180 coulomb of the charge will flow. And to get voltage is work done per unit charge. So work done is voltage into charge. So voltage is 4.5 and the total charge is 180. So this will consume about 810 joules of energy. And electron volt, it's a unit of voltage, which unit of energy. 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 of joules. So this is just a beginning of topic about DC electricity. The first one we did about current, then the transport equation, and the difference between the potential difference and EMF. Any question or a doubt related to the class today?